right, guys, we're back, and I got some more crypto news for you. Now, of course, on Wednesdays, we're looking at the future, guys. IoT, artificial intelligence, machine economy, basically trying to get a picture of what this new world is going to look like, guys. And in this video, got some stories for you that is going to do just that. Starting with groundbreaking crypto industry partnership is going to help support law enforcement when it comes to cybercrime. Now, essentially, guys, what's going to come out of this new partnership between DigiVault and Asset Reality, no relation to Digibyte, is a way to retrieve lost crypto. So that's going to be good, guys. We're going to dig into that. Also, I want to share this information with you. A futuristics overview of Bitcoin ATM machine market, industry insights, and forecast 2021 through 2026 by RoboCoin, Square, General Bytes, Cornucopia, Hero Coin, Submits, and more. I know that was a mouthful, but guys, the information in this document is quite enlightening. Okay, what this is simply is a snapshot of all the Bitcoin ATMs currently in circulation around the world. Okay, now when I looked at the locations and some of the companies involved, that's when I started to get the bigger picture painted, guys. So I'm going to illustrate that for you. We also are going to be talking about banks entering the metaverse. That one is going to be really juicy, guys. Also, Kucoin further deepening their presence in the metaverse with the announcement of $100 million funding to help early stage metaverse projects. So, also going to break down that, guys. But we have a triple threat main event for you in this episode, guys. Starting with, and this news just came out last night, IOTA Staking has arrived, guys. And I'm going to explain to you how they're doing this, how they're rolling it out. Also, Fetch AI is back on the channel, guys. It's been a while, but when I saw this headline and what it's looking to do for a specific industry, I had to share it with you guys. But I think the champion in this match, if you will, is Deeper Network becomes the first blockchain project to access Helium network. Now, I must admit, guys, when we were talking about IoT, and I started to, IOTA is my number one IoT choice. Okay. IOTX, of course, is number two, but a very, very close third place would have to be Helium network token. Now, the reason why I haven't been speaking about this project on the channel is because of a personal experience that I had with the company. Okay. Nothing to do with sponsorships or anything like that, but I went to try and purchase one of these products. There was a whole bunch of issues with shipping, albeit it was during the time where shipping was very, very, it was a cautious line of work, and we're talking probably middle of 2020. But ever since then, guys, they have been going absolutely insane, guys. And with this partnership with the Deeper Network, they have just extended into enterprise solutions for IoT. So that's going to be big, guys. So let's get started with today's episode, guys, breaking down this groundbreaking crypto partnership in the form of DigiVault and Asset Reality. Excuse me. But DigiVault is a leading digital asset custody provider, and along with Asset Reality, the world's first end-to-end solution for recovering, managing, and realized seized crypto assets, they have announced a new partnership aimed at making the digital asset ecosystem safer by assisting global law enforcement agencies and victims of cybercrime with asset recovery. Now, guys, we really don't need to go any deeper than that. That first paragraph pretty much gave the gist of what this is going to bring into the space now. Now, of course, you're looking at a double-edged sword. You're really looking at a double-edged sword here because, yes, we now are going to have the ability in some form to retrieve lost crypto assets, which is good. However, now, law enforcement has the same ability to go into people's accounts and retrieve assets that may be lost. So this is something I had to bring to the attention of to the people, guys, bring to our attention because it's an element in the space that may have an effect on things going forward. So Yeah, like I said, not really much else to read into that. The first paragraph gave us all we needed to know. These two companies are now going to work on technologies that will allow law enforcement to get deeper involved with crypto. So I guess you can look at that as a form. It definitely is a form of adoption. But now law enforcement essentially has a way to get involved with crypto. So judging by history and just how things work, this was bound to happen at some point. It was bound to happen, guys. But not any, wouldn't look at this as bad news. Really wouldn't look at this as bad news. Just being aware of how many ways this can be used. Okay. So still though, very good for the space. Security is important. Being able to retrieve lost funds is important as well, because as we still get to this mainstream bull run, and I still don't think we're in it. This is still institutional money keeping us above 60,000. Trust and believe. But when the mainstream run happens, this is going to be needed, very much so, because a lot of people, as a part of the learning process, you're going to lose crypto, and not everybody's going to be excited about that. Okay. Trust me, I've lost a lot just learning how to navigate this space, guys. So this is very good, guys. Now let's get into this futuristic overview of these Bitcoin ATMs, guys. Moving forward, we're going to spin the globe really with this story. Now, the premise of this document can be found right here. The Bitcoin ATM machine market report provides a detailed analysis of global market size, regional and country level market sizes, segmentation, market growth, market share, competitive landscapes, sale analysis, and the impact of domestic and global market players like, and this is when they start naming names, Robocoin, Square, that very one, General Bytes, Coinutopia, Hero Coin, Submits, and etc. So there's more. Value chain optimizations, trade regulation, recent developments, so forth and so on. It's a whole lot here, guys. Of course, I'll gladly post the link, put it at the top of the description for you guys if you want to dive into this report yourself. But what I want to share with you guys is the map, little geography, if you will. Okay. Promising regions and countries mentioned in Bitcoin ATM machine market report. Now, of course, to get the full report, they're charging. So, depending on who you ask, that adds to the validity of this information. So, but these Bitcoin ATMs are present in not just the United States. And I'll admit, I was really just under the assumption, with the exception of El Salvador, of course, but I didn't understand the vastness of this Bitcoin ATM network. And it's important to understand because the Bitcoin ATMs highlight something that is right now, honestly, being very, very heavily debated behind the scenes in the Bitcoin community. The argument of store of value versus peer to peer payment. Okay. Google the Bitcoin Civil War, spend a weekend in that direction, contact me afterwards. But simply put, guys, these ATMs are across North America, South America, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and the Asia Pacific regions. So that just makes me ask the question of, okay, why isn't this like no news? This whole wave of Bitcoin ATMs stirring up, and they've been around for a while, according to my knowledge. They've been around for years, but again, I first started to see them in my neighborhood. Okay, and a couple years back, of course, I was going through a moment in life where I wasn't as fortunate as I am now. Thank God for bringing me through that. But at the same time, in those areas that I was in, I would see ATMs, Bitcoin ATMs. And, as I want to say, this goes back to 2018. And as time progressed, I saw more of them popping up, but they only popped up in specific areas, guys, very specific neighborhoods. Okay. And I started to ask the question, well, why is that? But you don't hear about these ATMs on the local news or anything like that. There's no explanation. They're just there. Then I stumbled upon this report and it all started to come together. There's a peer-to-peer payment network being laid right now. Walmart having ATMs in their locations, that came about because these ATMs, this network was already laid and had been laid for the last few years. So the testing was done, so they knew that people, when they saw this, they would interact with it. And if they interact with it, that's money. Okay? They let it run for a couple years to see how it would affect people genuinely. And as the attention of Bitcoin increased and the attention of blockchain technologies increased, the usage of these ATMs also increased. So in this year alone, we've already had El Salvador make it a legal tender. Brazil is talking about making it a legal form of payment. Paraguay, several other countries are coming into this fold, into this payment discussion. This ATM network information, guys, and again, I'll put the link in the description for you, paints a very vivid picture, guys. Because if these ATMs are already spread across the planet, then the underlying narrative, the underlying agenda with Bitcoin for the next phase is going to be peer-to-peer payments. And with that, there is something, of course, and I mentioned this before, Kleeman versus Wright, guys. Now, if you go and look it up, I'm going to state right now, I could care less who Satoshi is. But the outcome of this trial is going to directly affect the next phase. That's just how it is, guys. You go and you look at the trial and you analyze all the pieces involved. It's some real heavy stuff going on there. Okay. Thinking about doing a whole video about it, but the subject is so heavily debated. You got to be careful. I'm waiting for things to play out. There's supposed to be some huge evidence coming out next week or later this week pertaining to who the people actually are involved with the creation of Bitcoin. But again, there's this type of information details that a narrative is shifting. Okay. The narrative is shifting. Paradigm, if you will, is shifting for Bitcoin, for peer-to-peer payments. But another headline that illustrates that, are banks headed for the metaverse, guys? I like the way they wrote this headline, but of course, what they really mean is this. Now, you've probably experienced this before. I have already. You go into your local bank, they're probably smaller. There's less tellers there, but there are more screens. And 9 times out of 10, you're interacting with that screen before you even meet the host or the guest. Or, some banks have hostesses now. They meet you at the door. It's kind of crazy. But what you're seeing now is a more deeper technology experience when you go into a bank, even credit unions. Okay. ATMs have all upgraded all around the world. Now, with we see that there are more banks coming into the space offering services to hold your crypto. That is going to come with a number of things. It's also going to change the experience, the banking experience that you have. Okay. Because we already know incumbent banks, legacy banks, the traditional finance, they realize there's no catching up. They can't beat us, so they have to join us. That is why we see things like that. So when I saw this headline, it immediately clicked right away, guys, because I've seen this in real life. Banks nowadays do not look like the way they used to when I was coming up. Not at all. And even now, especially in the last year, with everything going contactless, everything going cashless, their role in society had to change. And now their locations reflect that. So let's just see what they got going on here, guys. It's basically, this report is very vast, okay? And it is simply, like I just said, just highlights what I just told you guys, that banks are shifting to a very virtual digital experience for their customers. Okay. Now this is an interesting chart. They do have interesting charts on here. Now, consumer use of virtual and augmented reality for transactions. Credit Karma has just unlocked a feature where you can they have an AR feature where you can pick certain items and buy them or something like that. Huntington, I think, has it too. Uh, guys, if your bank is unrolling some new features, let us know down in the comments. Let us know what that experience is like. But consumer use of virtual and augmented reality for transactions. What I find interesting here is that by 2025, 13%, by 2030, 34%. But what will occur after 2030? A whopping 44%. So they project this change to last. And like I did in the crypto.com video, guys, we just entered the new era. We just entered a new era. From this moment forward, this is our reality. Okay? This is our reality, guys. But this story continues to illustrate the fact that banks are they're ready now. They're ready to enter the virtual world. They're ready to enter the metaverse. And then another thing to think about with this story is that we have Seoul, we have Barbados. Their governments now introducing us to how municipalities can make use of the metaverse, how the metaverse can be intertwined with city, local, and state governments, and how benefits are distributed and how you communicate with different departments and stuff like that. That's what we're seeing, guys. Now, on the subject of the metaverse, let's move over to the next story, guys. Kucoin has launched a $100 million VC fund to empower early stage metaverse projects. Guys, let's just get right into this. It states Kucoin, the company behind the world's sixth largest crypto exchange by volume with more than 500 assets listed. Yeah, it's a lot. Announced on Wednesday that it would be launching a $100 million metaverse fund for early stage projects. The money is also to be available for entities that develop blockchain games, NFTs, and decentralized applications. In addition, KuCoin will also provide business incubation services, branding incentives, and business partnerships for developers selected into the fund. Now, going forward, there's a quote from the CEO of KuCoin, Johnny Liu. Before we read that, I want to give you this point. We're going to see a lot more of this as well, guys. And it highlights a unique opportunity. And this is some next level game. So if you're standing, sit down for a second. Anybody can get involved with this, guys. Me or you. We can make use of this metaverse fund, these DeFi funds, these blockchain funds, right? Blockchain technology is open source. So anybody who can learn it can earn it, if you know what I'm saying. Anybody can learn it. So that means me or you. All it takes is a little bit of time in the right direction, guys, and we can make use of this. So think about it like this. Let's just say you have a grand idea, a wild idea that you wish to express, but there's never been a medium around before to get this idea out. Blockchain is here now, and anything can be built on it thanks to smart contracts, distributed ledger systems. Just wanted to point that out, guys. But the quote from CEO stated that the Kucoin Metaverse Fund will be launched to accelerate the evolution of the internet industry. We hope to mature the emerging blockchain industry by further strengthening the application of blockchain technology to the metaverse projects. That, again, just states it. He reiterates it, guys. Everybody knows this is the future. And because we are literally at the beginning, the front door, we're all at the front door, guys, and they're literally just now opening it. There's a draft. We caught some wind, but this is the direction. And we're at the moment in history where it's almost free game. It's almost free game right now, free reign, in the sense that because everything is still new, there aren't any standards. That's why we're seeing regulation come into the space. There aren't any standards set just of yet. There's no barriers to entry. Like I said, anybody that learns it can earn it. Okay. So these funds, these types of things, especially if you're a developer, if you're a coder, okay, you can get involved with these companies because a lot of it is all online. Okay, they're looking for remote people to contribute these ideas. Now, of course, once you get to sharing your ideas, make sure you have them copyrighted, IP protected, stored, filed away, because that is going to be a very important part of the game going forward. But what I'm seeing, guys, with stories like this, with these types of headlines, is that for the creative person, this is the best time to be alive. If you've ever wanted to tell a story or write a book or pin a movie, you can NFT it now. You can NFT it now, and it'll last forever. Okay, just wanted to get that to you guys. Let's now get into the main event. Let's get into the main event, starting with IOTA. Okay, IOTA has just launched their staking platform. Now, it's in the first stage, of course. It's still early, so the staking necessarily won't take place on a public medium. What you're going to need is their Firefly wallet. Now, I don't currently have any experience with the Firefly wallet because there's next level things you need to learn in order to use it. And I'll tell you, I haven't used it yet. I have been storing my IOTA on Binance.us. And, it's because of how Binance.us is set up, it's a little bit difficult to remove money, so it's the best place to keep money. You know what I'm saying? But yesterday they made the announcement that they are introducing IOTA Staking, the expansion token utility of IOTA will offer new opportunities to token holders to be rewarded for their participation in the growing ecosystem. This staking is going to introduce another network called Shimmer that will also have its own token, guys. But this will be IOTA's staging network and will be the first project to use IOTA's network to fairly distribute its token supply, transforming the IOTA Tangle into a fair launch pad of unseen possibilities of new tokenomics. Now, this is actually going to lead us into another huge thing that IOTA is doing now, guys. Essentially, IOTA has just become the equivalent of Ethereum or Binance or Tron, in the sense that now assets can be built on the IOTA Tangle network. There can be built on IOTA. So now IOTA is about to have a list of assets, an ecosystem on it as well. And we all see how well assets perform, blockchains perform when they have tokens involved, when they have the whole ecosystem. Polkadot, Solana, let me see, Cardano's got an ecosystem, Stellar Lumens, XRP, list goes on, right? Now, IOTA is going to have that similar type of pool. Now, they are currently transforming into a fully decentralized, programmable multi-asset ledger. In combination with smart contracts, which we just got that announcement a couple weeks ago, IOTA will be a powerful network that allows builders to push the current boundaries of innovation and reach mainstream adoption. So you can expect more hackathons, more events that'll draw in developers, and then more assets to come to IOTA because of this, guys. Now, if you are well versed with Firefly, or if you used it before, how the staking is going to work on there really quick is that the IOTA that you have, you'll receive the Shimmer airdrop, and then you'll also receive constant airdrops from other assets that enter the ecosystem, guys. So kind of like Tron, when you're using the Tron wallet and you get fancy airdrops like that, guys. But let's move over to the next coin. Fetch AI and Data Reller are bringing crypto and AI to boost micro mobility services. Now, I'm going to tell you a wee bit of a story, guys. I got my stories. But back in 2000 and this was a minute. I was working as a security guard, North American International Auto Show. And this was early. This was right before Uber really hit the mainstream, okay? I was working downtown Detroit, North American International Auto Show. They were having a mobility event, talking about transportation. Lyft was there, Uber was there, GM, Ford, several others were there. That was from that, when they had that event, from that moment in time, that's when all of these things started to manifest. We're talking the scooters and the bikes and the Ubers and the Lyfts and all of that. Basically, that was one of the events where all of this stuff was being planned. And they talked a lot about the effect that artificial intelligence was going to have. Okay. Now, just saying that to give you a little bit of context, Fetch AI and Datarella are bringing that technology to the same industry, guys. The Mobix marketplace built on Fetch AI's blockchain will enable e-scooter and bicycle users to earn Mobix rewards miles that can be converted into the token, guys. It states that Fetch AI, an artificial intelligence lab based in British city of Cambridge, and Datarella, a Munich-based blockchain company, are partnering to launch Mobix, a micro mobility marketplace designed to incentivize people to use eco-friendly micro mobility services such as e-scooters and bicycles in exchange for cryptocurrency. The Mobix marketplace will be built on Fetch AI's blockchain and aims to address transportation and environmental concerns in urban areas by connecting micro mobility service providers with end users and incentivizing urban residents to use eco-friendly transport. So essentially, guys, this is the next level of the story that I just gave you. They first started to come together and do this, guys. And now that I'm really thinking about it, I want to say this had to have been 2012, 2013. Okay. And everything since then started to roll out: the scooters, the bikes, everything like that, self-driving cars, Uber Eats, DoorDash, all that good stuff, right? Now they're monetizing it. Resource-based economy right there, guys. User monetization at its finest. They're doing this in a real world setting. That's what gives Fetch AI its power, guys. That's why that blockchain is one to definitely look out for. Okay. So let's get over to the last story, guys, because I know this video is probably extended. Had a lot on my mind today. So I'm glad you guys bared with me. And of course, timestamps will be down in the description. But Deeper Network becomes the first blockchain project to access Helium's network. Now, let's just get into some details, guys. And these details are going to give you a very, very good look at what both the Deeper Network and HNT has to offer. Now, a leading blockchain developer in Deeper Network, has become the first blockchain to obtain the correct qualifications from Helium to access his network. By manufacturing Deeper Network HNT miners, Deeper Network enables the first dual crypto miner in the world. The Deeper Connect Mini, which mines DPR cryptocurrency based on shared internet bandwidth, will allow connection of Deeper Network HNT miners, which mines the HNT cryptocurrency based on radio waves. Now, that again is why HNT Helium Network is a token that I should have mentioned before. But as you can see by the illustration here, guys, this is what a miner looks like. Now, what their technology simply works off of, and it kind of ties into the subject of geolocation and what we were talking about a few days ago with XYO and stuff like that. But they're essentially just laying that foundation layer for the IoT, for geolocation data, for things like that. They're laying that base layer through the form of mining. Now, what it is that, and we'll go over to, I'll pull up Helium Network. That way you can see the site, and that way you guys can go check this out for yourself. But their core technology, when you get one of their miners, you then become part of the network, essentially added to the blockchain. And for that, you can earn HNT tokens, over a given period of time based on the strength of the network. What it essentially allows you to do, guys, is set up a node in your home. And from your home, you can contribute to the growth of the IoT, the blockchain network, through Helium. Now, this is a very, very decent incentive. It's a very decent project. As you can see, Total Hotspots Live has been growing. Now, like I said, my personal experience, it occurred during a time where everybody's personal experience with shipping was kind of messed up. But I would definitely, guys, take a look at helium.com. Especially, it's a decent way to earn some passive income in crypto. And mining is quite difficult, but with Helium, it makes it very easy, guys. And remember, this is IoT. And if you're curious about the token itself, Just looking up the crypto logo there. Don't want that. But if you're curious about the token itself, guys, just go over to Coin Market Cap. See where we are. Oh, we're looking nice. So that's what essentially you'd be mining. So again, look into Helium Network token, guys, through this partnership with Deeper Network. They just landed their first enterprise solution, their first corporate customer in a sense. And with this, of course, this is just the beginning of a trend, guys. But this video has gone on probably very lengthy, but I try my best to give you guys the best information that I can in every video. So if the minutes are there, then every minute has to be valuable. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's content. Of course, if you haven't already checked out my crypto.com video, and check out the rest of the videos on the channel. The Digit Hustle University, guys, is not done. We are not done. I'm just putting together more content. Those animated videos take a little bit more time as expected, but they will be coming surely. So again, if you found value, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that we never miss an update. Shout at me from the comments. I'll always be down there. And of course, you know what I'm going to tell you. Have a great day. Have a prosperous day. But most importantly, we making that money. I'll see y'all in the next video.